afternoon, Oliver. If I could just start off by checking on the general squad fitness, but in particular on Mark Gahey.
All players fit, so fortunately. Mark started training with us on Wednesday, I think, so did now 3 sessions. And it's good. Eddie and Katie are trained the whole week, so we started on Monday, and he's fine. We'll be in the squad. GP came back with a minor knee issue from France, but also trained today without any issues, so he's also fit. So very good news.
I apologise for asking this question in November because you're probably going to get it a lot in December and January. But are you bracing yourself in January for it being quite difficult to keep hold of Mark Gahey?
I don't know, to be honest. Again, it will be the club's decision, and Mark shows it every single game, every single week that he's 100% committed to Crystal Palace, and I don't think about it. So we have, I think, 15 games until the 10th of January now, and it's so quite busy, and just makes no sense. Also having my thoughts about what happens in the transfer window. Yes, of course we're always preparing, but I don't know what happens.
You must have been delighted to see Adam Wharton make his first England start during the international break. Recognition of how important a player he's become for you, but great for him as well.
Well, yes, we have now so many international players, and Adam, deserved to start for England. And I think I counted. I think we have 10 players already qualified for the World Cup next year. So, and I think that's unique for Crystal Palace. And it just shows the progress and the development of the players. It shows how hard they are working, because you always have to deserve it. But we don't know. It's still 6 months to go. So I hope that all the players stay fit and are available then, because then they will perform for us on a very high level. And yeah, was a great moment for Adam to start his first game for England.
Do you try to watch all their international performances during the break, or is it just too difficult?
No, I didn't. I just watched one game, to be honest, and this was Austria against Bosnia, because it was the decisive game on Tuesday, and we needed a point, and we got the point, so Austria is also qualified. It was a very interesting Tuesday, because Austria under 17 played against England under 17 in the World Cup, and Austria beat England 4-0, so we had quite a lot of fun within the staff. And I think there was a third game. So we had many positive aspects. Paddy McCarthy got the game winner at Hungary and is now playing the playoffs against Czech Republic. Justin Devaney, they qualified for the playoffs. So yeah, it's really was a good international break. But the best thing was that everybody came back fit, and also it's the first time now that we had all the players in training on Thursday. So usually we had just the Friday training with them. And our players made a very good, looked very sharp, very good today.
Can I ask you about your own contract situation, whether negotiations are ongoing, whether they're progressing?
Yeah, again, it's always to find the right moments to talk about. And when we see our schedule, yes, we're constantly talking. And again, it's the contract, it's the player situation, but especially we have to prepare the team now to stay that successful, as successful as we started the season. I told the players we already played 19 games. And this season, so we have a winning average higher than 50%, just lost 3. We just conceded 14 goals in 19 games. So many positive things that happen, and it's now for us. And that's why I'm really pleased and looking forward to all these games that are coming, because the players are fit. The players, we have a great mood, we have a great energy in the group, and it's that. So I don't see any reason why we shouldn't continue this success, and it's up to us. It's our responsibility. And this group showed it so many times that they can be a little bit different, and it's coincidence or not that we play Wolves now. We played Wolves 3 days after winning the FA Cup, and nobody expected anything. Me included, to be honest. We had no training, it was just 2 days partying, and we won 4-2. Yeah, and this again, that's the character of this group, and this is what we want to show again from tomorrow on.
Is the sheer volume of games, the fact that they're coming basically every 3 days, is that the biggest problem? Literally finding the time to sit down and talk about the contract.
Yes, of course, and it's also it's because the most important thing is that we are successful now, and everything else that we are talking about, what happens in July or August, and it's but everything. What we are doing now, how we are playing now, how we are performing now, how we are working now, affects the situation in the future. So that's why I'm always try to focus on the present and not too far in the future, and of course never in the back or in the past. Sorry, what happened? And then yes, it's it's not about the money. It's not about the duration. It's really about finding a common sense where we see Crystal Palace going and developing, and of course this is not too easy sitting together, having a dinner, 15 minutes, and yes, so it's because many things, it's again stadium, the new stand is a topic for many years now, training camp and squad, so yeah, many things to talk. This takes time, and yes, it's a matter of time at the moment.
Do you think there is an aligned vision? Just finally, do you think your vision and the board's vision are similar?
Yeah, we try to find the aligned topics, and of course, in some points, it's to find this alignment. Yeah, is it possible? Does the club want to do this? Does Oliver Glasner want to do this? And it's always, I'd say the most important thing is it a wish or a goal? What's the difference? Because the wish gets fulfilled. For the goal, we have to work and invest, and because everybody says, I want to win the Premier League, maybe. Yeah. So, but is it a realistic? What can we do? What do we have to do to make the next step in every part of the club? Again, I think it's important for Crystal Palace to grow as an organization, not just the squad or the staff, to grow as an organization. If we want to play regularly European football, and we see it now, it's just for an example, if we do our recovery, we walk over to the academy because the academy is new. They have great recovery facilities. We can use them now for 2-3 weeks, because let's say that's far away from state of the art what we have here at the training ground. But if we want to avoid injuries, if we want to play this amount of games, we also have to. It's our responsibility to look after the players and deliver and provide what is needed, that we can guarantee it more or less. So again, and that's what we are talking about, and then let's see.
Thank you.
No.
Hi, Oliver.
Hi.
Let's talk about your opponents tomorrow, Wolves, because they'll have a new manager in charge in Rob Edwards. I interviewed Tyrick Mitchell at the beginning of the week about the so-called new manager bounce, and he said he doesn't believe in that concept. He just said players just try and work hard to be in that starting lineup. So my question to you is, do you believe in a new manager bounce? Is there such a thing?
I think it's proven that there is no new manager bounce. So, but. It made it a little bit more difficult for us to prepare. So we don't know exactly how they are playing this year. They switch between a 3-4-3, 3-5-2, 4-2-3-1. Rob Edwards played with Luton quite often in a 3-4-3. We started with Middlesbrough in this shape, but then changed it, and then of course the analysts and my staff will look back also what he did at Middlesbrough, what he did with Luton, because every manager has his own ideas, and now it's. But on the other side, Wolves had many international players as well, so they didn't have a lot of training time. So we expect them playing. How they played, with the players they have, with slight adjustments. And on the other side, we showed it many times that we can compete with every single team in England, and this is what we will show and want to show tomorrow again.
You were in charge when Palace drew with Luton 1-1 back in 2024 and Rob Edwards was in charge then. Do you think, in terms of your preparation for this game, that it's more relevant to look at the Luton games in the Premier League and how he set up his team then, or perhaps how he more recently has set up his teams at Middlesbrough?
As I mentioned, both. And it's more. It's not just about the shape. It's more about the patterns. You know, how do we expect them to press us? So what has he done with Luton and Middlesbrough? And then it's not so important which shape it was. How do they try to build it? But on the other side, also they have the players they have with their strengths and their weaknesses. So you can't ask a player to do things what he can't do. Yeah? You can ask him, but I think it won't be quite successful. And Rob Edwards is a great manager, so he will also try to work and play with the strengths of his team. And Wolves, they have a lot of strengths. Yes, they had a difficult start into the season, but I think they lost Cunha and Ait Nouri, but they could keep Strand Larsen. They signed wing backs, and all the others are still there. They have 2 Brazilian internationals in central midfield, so it is a very good team. And like every game in the Premier League, you have to perform on your personal top level. Then you can win. And if you drop by 5 to 10%, you will lose.
In terms of the away form and having lost the last 2 on the road, is that a cause for concern for you? Palace's form on the road in the Premier League.
We didn't win the last 2 games.
Lost the last 2 Premier League away games.
Yeah, if you ask me about the last 20, okay, but 2. Last 4 we are unbeaten. In the last 4 games we won 3. Had 3 clean sheets. Now winning 3-0 at Liverpool, winning 2-0 against Brentford, 0-0 against Brighton. No, we conceded 1 in between, I think, but we won.